What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 308. Our guest today is the 806 Storm Chasers. We had a good time talking to these two people, man. We're talking about chasing storms, tornadoes, hurricanes, Florida man. It's all fun. It's really interesting. You know me, I'm terrified of bad weather, but it was pretty cool to hear their experience doing this. You can check out their Facebook page for probably some really accurate forecasts in the West Texas area and all of the things that they pick up while storms go around this crazy part of the freaking world. Check them out. If you're new to this podcast, if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's a free and easy way to support us over here. Rate and review, subscribe on like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen, if that's how you consume it. Tell your friends about us, share the page. These are all free and easy ways to support and spread the word. You can also go to patreon.com/snakepit studios. I do a new series called In the Pit for $5 a month, and then we do Conversation Pit every week for $1 a month. Those are pretty cheap and easy ways to subscribe, and also ways to help support us over here. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave a comment. Share it. Get the word out, man. I'm trying to spread this thing. Thank you, guys, and I hope you enjoy. 806 Storm Chaser. Just chasers?
Chasers, yeah. That's the future plan for the page. It's not just like a one-person gig anymore.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I love it. I told you guys I'm scared of bad weather, but goddamn, this is so interesting.
Yeah, we run towards it.
Oh, my goodness. You told me you've been doing it for 17 years?
17 years. 2008 was my first year. And I saw my first tornado in September near my hometown of Hereford.
Was that on purpose?
Accident.
Okay, what was that like?
God
damn it. That's so crazy.
Dude, I was the night before we just had a bunch of storms roll through and like it flooded Hereford and it was crazy. And then the next day I was just driving around looking at like all the flooding that happened. And then off in the distance I saw this like tornado literally from the cloud. It snaked down and was touching the ground. So I drove home real quick. I grabbed my camera that I had, and then I drove like where I could kind of see it. And it was already lifting, but like I saw it and it was there, and I took a picture of it. And then ever since then, I was like, I got to see more of these. This is too cool. And I just spent the next rest of my life learning how to forecast storms, how to forecast tornadoes, how to chase them safely, how to chase them to get like the best angle to like photograph them, like really kind of perfect my craft, you know.
So that's really where it started, that first one?
That first one, yeah.
Oh, God, it's okay. So is there like a fucking book that tells you how to do this, or did you kind of have to learn it yourself?
Yeah, back then, in like 2008, there wasn't a whole lot of like free information. It was a lot of kind of learn by trial and error. I ended up making some friends with like other chasers in that community, and they taught me how to forecast, you know, how to perform different maneuvers to like not kill yourself while you're doing this.
And they're like wildly unpredictable, aren't they?
They are. They're
fast.
They can be fast. Yeah. Around here, they're pretty slow moving locally.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they sit still, but sometimes they do like circles and they like loop back around, and you got to watch out for that.
Deviant motion.
Yeah. You like the storm might be going one direction, but then the tornado goes the complete opposite direction.
Oh, really?
Random. I've had that happen where I think I'm safe, and then I'm like, oh, this is getting closer to me for no reason. This shouldn't be doing this. Why is it doing this? And then I have to like move out of the way. And it's happened a few times. So they can be unpredictable, but for the most part, you get around enough of them, you can more or less know what it's going to do just based on what it looks like.
So I got to know right off the bat, what's the biggest one you've seen?
Well, I guess the most violent one I've seen, I saw the Moore 2013 EF5 that went through Moore, Oklahoma.
Dude, my other old clothes, his uncle lived there.
Really?
Yeah, during that.
Yeah, that was a kind of a scary time because not only were we seeing it in person, but we had a tablet that was live streaming the helicopter footage in real time of that thing ripping things up in Moore. And it's just like you see it out the windshield and you're like, whoa, this is crazy. But you also know, like, there's really bad things happening right now in there.
People died, right?
People are dying.
Oh,
like, you could tell by just how violent. And then, as you know, we're getting closer to it, and we're like, oh, it's getting rain wrapped. And I'm like, that's not rain. That's pieces of more circling the tornado and making it look like it's raining.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
just
my
surrounded
God.
by debris. It was like by the time it got through the city. And that was by far the strongest one. But I guess if we want to go biggest one, I saw a 2 mile wide tornado near Dimmitt in 2017. That was massive. I couldn't believe what I was seeing because it was such a low end probability day. And we were watching a storm produce a dozen tornadoes around Dimmitt, Texas. And I watched at one point it grew into about a 2 mile wide tornado out in an open field.
Oh, an open field.
Yeah, I wasn't over Dimmitt, thankfully. I don't know if they know how lucky they were that
shit.
day in April 2017.
God, hell no.
This is giving me anxiety just thinking about it. Oh my God, I hate fucking bad weather, man.
And unfortunately, I've like grown the love of getting as close as I can. Like I've kind of made it into this, like there's a fine art between getting close enough and kind of feeling it versus you cross the threshold of danger zone. And I like to just kind of flirt with that line.
What are you feeling? The wind and all that?
You feel the wind, but you even feel the pressure. You smell fresh cut grass because you're so close to it. Like there's a lot of different senses that activate when you get close to it.
What does it sound like?
I mean, it really does sound like if you ever at a railroad crossing and a train goes by, it just that rumbling sound is generally what it sounds like. And when you get close enough, it's deafening. Like you can't really hear anything else. So,
Can you? So what is a tornado? Like,
So-
do you know?
yeah. So a tornado is essentially just an area of low pressure. Basically, when you have warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico that makes its way up into this area, and then you have a storm system coming from the West Coast, it has really cold air, 3 kilometers above us. There's really cold air, like negative 20 degrees Celsius. And then down here, you have really warm, moist air. And that difference between the warm and the cold provides instability or makes it a very unstable environment. So if you get a storm that fires, the air is rushing to fill the area of low pressure. So all this air around the storm is getting sucked up. And eventually, through wind shear, different levels of wind in the atmosphere will start to spin the updraft. And you start getting a tornado kind of like start in the core of that storm, and it'll stretch with that instability to the ground. And it's basically just a lot of wind, essentially.
So that's why we're like in Tornado Alley.
Yeah.
Because it's where it meets. More
Yeah.
often than not.
Geographically, I mean, the mountains aren't that far west of us, and the Gulf of Mexico is not that far either. So I think the only thing that really saves us from getting wiped off the map a lot is that we're up in elevation. So it's a little harder for the moisture to get 3,600 feet up in elevation from sea level. So if we were flat at sea level around here, we'd probably see a lot more terrible weather.
Oh no, I'd move.
Nobody would want to live here.
That's really like the only crazy weather we experience here, right? Tornadoes.
Well, so in up in Amarillo, where I'm from, we experience everything but volcanic eruptions and tsunamis because we get earthquakes,
Earthquakes.
and there have been earthquakes out here.
I remember it. I
Yeah.
felt it.
I'm sure there's people feeling it, around the area and around like the or the oil fields.
Like Midland area. And
Yeah.
shit.
So there's earthquakes, there's wildfires. Of course, you have your
Oh my
blizzards.
God, you guys had the worst, like second biggest wildfire
No, the biggest in Texas.
in Texas.
Last year.
That was horrible.
That was over. I think it's like 1.2 million acres in like 24
were you
hours.
covering that?
Yeah, actually, I was at work. I was working at the airport, and I got off of work that evening. And as I was kind of watching what was happening, there was a big fire up by Canadian, and I remember seeing on the radar there was this. You could see the cold front, like this big line of wind pushing south where those fires were. And when it hit those fires, it was collecting all the smoke inside those fires. And so I knew that, okay, there's going to be a big wall of smoke coming, and it's probably going to look really spectacular. So got my camera, went out, and just outside of town, and there was a big wall of I don't even know how high it was. It was probably a couple thousand feet high of just black smoke coming towards Amarillo. So I just went out there and was photographing it, and I let it run me over pretty much at like the Big Texan in Amarillo. And I got a shot from the Big Texan where I'm like on the second story of their hotel, and I shot the Big Texan, and there's this big giant brown wall of smoke and dust coming in right behind it. It's pretty ominous, apocalyptic.
You could smell it from here.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember.
yeah. It was hard to breathe for about an hour after it passed in Amarillo because like it just choked you out, and then finally some fresh air kind of circulated in. But I mean, as a storm chaser around here, we chase everything. You know, fires, blizzards, tornadoes.
You're covering that big one, Snowmageddon.
Snowmageddon. Yeah, we were out there. We did a live.
We did a
stream.
live stream on
That was
that.
horrible.
Drove around in it and watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drove around in it in my
In a normal car,
2006 Chevy Uplander.
Yeah, minivan.
That's taped together.
but nothing's like.
No.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah, I see all my tornadoes in a Ford Fusion. It's just a basic.
Just the one that you see right out there. It's all covered.
It's covered in hail
hail.
dents.
Yeah.
Because obviously
So
big
are
hail's.
those like armored vehicles a myth, or do people have those?
Oh, they have them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but do you need it? Nah.
It's still gonna get your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you really care about not having dents, I guess that's
Well,
great.
you're like
but
windows breaking and shit.
that's why you just need to make friends with a windshield guy locally.
Oh,
I got my buddy Dale up in Amarillo. He just $125 and he'll replace that windshield. So
shout out to him.
You know he's
Shout out
on
to Dale.
speed dial. Like,
he is on speed dial. I
Do it
have
for
him
Dale.
ready to go.
So is this is it a hobby or is it y'all get paid to do this?
oh, we did actually get paid. Well, from the Facebook page, 806 Storm Chasers. So the whenever we did a live stream last month with all the snow, or I guess in January with all the snow and stuff, we actually did get paid out with like bonuses through Facebook and stuff. I would say that's the most consistent way of making money off of this right now is some sort of live streaming platform. But yeah, Facebook actually generated quite the revenue for us for that.
And then,
I was surprised.
and then mostly just photography, I guess.
Yeah,
Taking
but
pictures of-
the photos don't really pay out a lot. I actually work with a company called Livestorms Media, and they're a nationwide broker, actually a worldwide broker. So if I get anything that I think is newsworthy, I can upload it to their platform, and then ABC News might go in and buy it,
nice.
and then I get a piece of that
That's
sale.
cool, man.
So that's cool. So like every now and then I'm like, I'll see my clip on like CNN, when they're doing like a review of the system or the storm. So
Yeah, it's almost like art. Like you
Yeah.
had to go get that close to get that picture.
yeah, and it's not easy though because they want like action. So they want destruction happening. They want you to stick around after a tornado and film people's busted up houses, and I can't do that.
That's kind of fucked up, huh?
It is very fucked up. There's a whole kind of like world out there of people that just make a lot of money doing that. I mean, I'm not going to judge anyone on how they make their dollar, but like at the end of the day, I'm not going to feel good about videoing someone's.
If my house just got destroyed and you got a camera in my face, I might punch you.
Yeah, the last thing that I would want
dog.
would be a camera in my face after that. And,
Yeah.
there's always also liability with that too after storms roll through and there's all that destruction and stuff. Like if you accidentally mess up trying to pull a person out of a house, you could end up hurting them more, So there's that risk as well, I feel.
Did you drive through more after?
So we kept chasing the storm after the first tornado lifted, and we saw another tornado, and then we were going to go back to like help, but then they were announcing all over the radio like, we don't need outside help. We just need like emergency workers only. We don't need volunteers. It was a pretty high casualty event, so they wanted only experienced hands out there. Fair enough. We didn't want to
Like
go.
you watched a bomb.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think
crazy.
tornadoes are crazy, but overall hurricanes are the nuttiest form of storms. Like
You've been in those.
been in pretty much every category, but I've been in 2 category 5s now.
So how did you get involved with hurricanes?
So this was in 2018, was my first year doing a hurricane, and it was more just I had some interest in doing one, but I never really made the move or really try to make connections. Well, by 2018, I had a pretty good connection with a lot of chasers around the country, including those that do hurricanes. And so when an opportunity arose to go chase a hurricane in North Carolina, I took it. It was a category 1. It was Hurricane Florence. No big deal. We shot it. We got our footage. We had a whole mess of footage we tried to sell, and it did sell. And so it ended up being like a profit for us to like go out and cover the storm. And then a month later, my second hurricane was Hurricane Michael, which was a category 5. This is the worst of the worst. And we had zero plan to like intercept this. I got notified that we were going to chase Hurricane Michael about 24 hours before it actually made landfall. So for the next 21 hours, I spent driving from Amarillo to Florida with some buddies. And we rolled into town about 45 minutes before it made landfall. Like, it was already making landfall. We were feeling it. And then we ended up driving to Tyndall Air Force Base outside of Panama City. We rode out the hurricane. Our plan was just to sit there, shoot some footage, and then we were going to go back in town and find safety. Well, little did we know that the hurricane took a hard right turn, and it basically punched us right in the face at that Air Force Base. Pieces of the buildings were like shooting all around us. We weren't in an armored vehicle. We were in a 2004 Honda Civic.
Hey, man.
You should have seen that thing when it rolled back up in town, y'all. I'm talking like all the duct tape you can imagine on that.
But
Some bungee cords.
We rode it out. We lost the back window like right before the eye hit, and we're just trying to hang on. And then finally, like, it's almost as if as quick as it started, like it was like a switch turned off, and suddenly the sun comes out, and we look up. We're in the eye of the
That's
hurricane.
What that means.
Yeah.
Like, literally it's clear.
It clears out, the wind dies off, and it gets really hot and humid. So like it's like you're in a sauna in the eye of a hurricane.
What the
Because it's basically, while it's in the Gulf of Mexico, it was churning up all the warm water and keeping it, as fuel for itself. So when it makes it to shore, all that humidity is just trapped in the eye.
Does it have a sound too, like the tornado? Same thing?
The sound of a hurricane is way worse. It's just the sound of a lot of wind tearing buildings apart, buildings blowing up, roofs coming off. I mean, it's a horrific sound. And we were in it for, we got in the eye, and then we go to start our car, and the car's dead. The battery's dead. Windows are blown out. The tires are all flattened from like flying shrapnel. So we ended up having to just abandon the car at where we had it. And we just walked into the Air Force Base. There's nobody there. And don't worry, I've already cleared this with the.
Okay.
He's already been cleared by the FBI.
We've already cleared this with the FBI. Don't worry. We had to make a statement on why we were on the Air Force Base.
Yeah.
They were cool with it.
Well, once we told them it was life and death, they were like, "All right, as long as you guys didn't touch anything." So,
But yeah, they were like, you can't be showing people like how easy it is to break into an Air Force base during a
I
hurricane.
didn't even think about that.
well, they're all evacuated. They didn't leave anybody there.
They didn't bring y'all with them.
And then,
Right.
they did have military police, but they were like on the other side of the base. And then that side of the base got so damaged that they were just trapped in there for a while. And then we just had nowhere to go. We're like, if we stay in this car, we're gonna die. This car can't withstand another round of this, because we were in the eye, but that just means you're halfway done.
Yeah.
You still got another half to go. So we said, fuck it, let's just go see if we could find shelter somewhere. And we found a building where the front doors had been blown open by the hurricane. So we just worked our way in there. It was classrooms essentially, and we just huddled underneath some tables as the roof on our building was coming off. It was crazy.
What the fuck?
You're so calm about it. Like,
I mean,
roof just came off.
the whole roof came off, and we were just chilling under. So what we did, this desk is about what those desks looks like, and we stacked all of these desks in the corner of the building, and then we put a bunch more on top of it. So we were like, all right, if this building collapses, at least we're like cocooned in here. We'll be okay for a little bit until they maybe find us, hopefully. Because no one's supposed to be on the base, so no one would have known we were there.
Do you get a high from this? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yes,
here?
he does. And he's addicted to it.
Crazy.
There is an adrenaline side of this that
This is
feeds
crazy.
it. Like, I'm feeling the adrenaline, just
You are
reliving it.
willingly putting yourself in this position.
But someone's got to do it.
No? No? I don't know. Maybe. There's a reason everybody leaves.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, they don't want to get hurt, but I mean, the only thing I'm hurting is maybe a rental car.
So
That's
the thing
not-
that like kills you during that is literally like building falling on you and like trees and shit.
Well, when the glass in the back
glass.
window blew out, like I could feel it. I mean, when that hurricane was hitting us, we were getting hit with like 155 mile an hour winds. They were gusting maybe to like 200. So like a little piece of metal in that wind hits you in the back of the head, it just lights out.
Yeah.
You're done. And that's what I actually had to fear, that one of us will die. There was 4 of us, and I was like, one of us will die from doing this because we're stupid and didn't have a plan. Well, we had a plan, but it didn't go.
So when it's happening, are you as calm as you are now during this? I would have passed out.
I was conscious. I was kind of like, fuck this, like really kind of pissed that we were in this situation.
Oh my God.
I was like, why are we doing this? Like, there was that sudden realization of like, oh, this is stupid.
I think if he had handled the logistics of that trip, it would not have gone that badly. I mean, they were like in the middle of an intersection when they intercepted this in that Civic, dude. Like I'm saying, like you can see like entire buildings coming apart, like in front of them and behind them and stuff. But I think that because he's very logistical with how things are going to play out. And like there's plan B, there's plan C, there's plan F out there. So I think that's the best way to do it. But
yeah, that was my second hurricane ever, so I didn't really have any say in the plan. I was just along for the ride.
Oh man.
So you were literally riding it out in a car.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
And then we rode it out in the Air Force Base.
Illegally.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No, we but then
So you literally had to tell the FBI.
yeah, so okay, so what happened is so a month,
crazy.
2 months. Okay,
This
this
is
is some behind the scenes that I don't think anyone really knows. So 2 months after that happened, we get contacted by Vice TV, and they're like, "Yo, we want to do a documentary, and we saw your footage, and it's pretty sick. So you want to? We'll pay y'all to come back out to Florida, and we'll do interviews." So we're like, "All right, free trip to Florida." So we go back to Florida, we go back to the Air Force Base, and we're doing these interviews in front of the gate, which is kind of weird because I'm sure all those guards are like, "The fuck are these people doing?" And we're just filming like, "Yep, this is where we sit, and that's the building we were in, and blah 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 blah." And then like the Weather Channel then Vice scraps that idea, but then the Weather Channel picks it up and says, "We're gonna do this show called what is it, like Seconds to Disaster or something like that," and they included our story. Like our story was the main focus of like chasers that were in the Air Force Base, and all this happened. And after that aired, we got an email from from like the military police from the Air Force Base, and they're like, "Hey, what the fuck were y'all doing on our Air Force Base? Unauthorized?"
it's like, didn't y'all have cameras? Like, couldn't you?
Yeah, well, the power was out, so I can imagine they. But then we just had to tell them like, "Hey, look, we're not trying to do anything. We were just trying to survive."
Just drove
We're
here
not-
from Texas.
We're not committing treason or anything like that.
No.
So that
None of
Vice thing never aired.
Unfortunately, not. I wish they would
that
have.
would've
I
been
think
cool.
there was something else they wanted to do instead. But I mean, if you really like broke down that story from each person's angle, you could get a movie out of it easily. Because so then not only afterwards, after the hurricane passes, we go out to the car. The car's just demolished. So we spent the next hour picking metal out from underneath it, putting on a spare tire. I had to take a battery from like a car I found to like jump ours off, and then I got it started. It paid to be a mechanic, I guess, at that time.
Oh shit!
But then as we're going back into town, this minivan pulls up on us like really fast, and it's this old lady, and she gets out. She's like, "Can y'all help me? My husband fell off the roof. He's very hurt, and we need help. And I have stage 4 cancer, and I need help." And then we're like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" But yes, we will help you. Okay. So we go to this lady's house, and there's just this old man laying on the concrete in pain. And we had to spend the next 3 hours, like basically trying to find a paramedic. We found some. They came over, and they're like, "Well, we can't do anything. We can't get an ambulance back here. Y'all are going to have to get him to the hospital." And so we were like, "All right, well, we got some tools." So we took the seats out of the minivan, made a gurney out of some comforters, put them in that minivan, and off they kind of worked their way back to the hospital. And me and another guy stayed behind at the property, like watching out for looters, which there were in
I
that
didn't even
night.
think about that.
Yeah, there was a
Another
dude
problem.
walking around with like a wagon full of like electronics, like radios and TVs. And I didn't have a weapon, so I didn't know what I was gonna do. I guess I might have just had to like rip my clothes off and go all Florida man on them or something.
So you've run across some of them people too doing this?
Yeah. Florida man exists. Anytime you go to Florida man, there is a Florida man or woman.
Yeah.
Should I tell him?
Yep, you should.
Yeah.
Let me tell you another Florida man. This was the same hurricane. This is all still Hurricane Michael.
Yeah.
So we're leaving. Finally, we find a spare tire for the car. We found it in another car just like ours, but like it had been crushed by a wall. So we took the spare out of it. We're like, well, they're not going to need it. So then we slapped that spare on. We got out of town. And on the way out of town, we stopped on a bridge, the bridge between Panama City and Panama City Beach. and we're just like uploading footage. And this dude comes over. He's walking on the bridge and up on the sidewalk, and he stops and he's like, "Do y'all have any food or water? I haven't eaten in like a week." I was like, "What? Oh yeah, man. Here's some trail mix. Here's some water. Like, is there anything else we can do?" He's like, "Can y'all give me a ride to the hospital? I think I stepped on a nail," and he had like a bloody foot. And we're like, I mean, we're 4 dudes in a Honda Civic. I don't think we can make that work. Sorry. Yeah. But then he goes, he says something about, "Yeah, man, a week ago I took this meth and it was terrible. It tasted awful. I've been on this meth binge for a week now." And I'm like, this dude just had a meth binge, and then he wakes up and the whole city is demolished.
He survived, bro. Fucking superpowers. God damn.
But the thing is like, I'm thinking like, okay, you're on a meth binge, and then when you come out of it, everything just got wiped out.
Oh my
like,
God.
dude, your whole
You don't even have
world.
landmarks anymore. You don't know what street you're on. Like, imagine.
What if he just rode the waves, man?
He might have, man.
Fucking just flying on a tree.
And then the funny part was like, he was trying to offer us a ride, or he was trying to get us to give him a ride so badly that he had offered to give us all fellatio.
Sexual favors.
Yes. It's like,
don't do drugs, kids.
Exactly. Do not do drugs, man. And so as soon as he said that, I like literally threw myself into traffic and had someone at the pickup truck like stop. And I'm like, "This guy needs a ride to the hospital now. Can you help us?" And he's like, yeah, sure. I was like, "Hey man, I got you a ride to the hospital."
Dude.
He was so
else.
pumped. Yeah, I did. I just offloaded him on another Florida man.
Nah, they're used to that shit, right? Like Florida, like there's crazy fucking weather events. And
Yeah.
they're just crazy people.
There's crazy people. It's
Damn,
all the
there's so
time.
much shit that
That
could
weather
happen.
makes them crazy.
Well, it's weird. You go out to Florida, there's a lot of crazy people, but there's a lot of money out there. Like, all the houses are big. You know, everyone's driving nice cars. You know, everyone's got the food out there is not cheap. But they're just out there just living life in Florida, man. And then the hurricane comes
God
and
has to reset everything.
yeah, I guess so. And people they have hurricane parties.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that.
Like the day before a hurricane happens, like there'll be a bar open and everyone's just getting drunk. It's like all the people that got stayed behind.
One last ride.
I guess so.
Man.
So is that the craziest like experience you've had doing this?
Yeah, probably that hurricane.
Holy shit.
That was probably crazy. But there's also been like crazy.
Now, if I need to edit this, did you see a dead body?
No, I didn't. Not for Michael. No.
Oh,
There-
you've seen him from.
I mean, yes, we have seen dead bodies and like
man.
storm damage. And a lot of times I just don't like try to mess with that. Like I don't get close. I'm not trying to identify. I'm like, I'll let a paramedic know. Like you need to go look over there.
Yeah.
But I try not to stick around.
And you still like to do this.
That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah, I mean, the whole kind of goal for like the 806 Storm Chasers was to provide coverage out here. I mean, not a lot of news networks. Like, I remember back in the 90s, there would be a lot of TV stations doing like live shots of storms, and they would be out there chasing, but they don't do that anymore. And, people now get angry that the news breaks in to warn you about a tornado and that ruins your, The Bachelor, and they're all pissed off. And
I can't stand that.
It scares the fuck out of me when I see shit like that. I get scared.
Beeping. Yeah.
I mean, if you're really into something and then that comes on, you're like, oh, but then if it's nowhere near you, you're like, well, I don't care about this now.
You
And
remember
then-
about 5 years ago when that big ass supercell was hanging over Lubbock and almost touchdown? You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Oh yeah, 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's about 5 years.
Yeah.
I was a mess. Oh, I was a mess. I was like,
I've seen some good ones around here, like Tahoka. Back in 2019, I saw a really good tornado down by Tahoka.
And y'all don't really have basements in your
Nope.
houses down here, which
It's
is
not
so
normal.
crazy to me because growing up in Missouri, it was like almost every single house had a basement. And obviously that's where you went during severe weather. And down here, they get more severe weather and they're like, we'll be fine.
and Lubbock got wrecked about 50 years ago.
yeah, in
Yeah,
1970.
1970.
And it didn't.
Yep.
Nobody built a fucking basement.
Right.
Well-
It's like you think that would maybe provide some.
And isn't it true Lubbock doesn't have tornado sirens?
No, we do.
Oh, y'all do
Every
now.
Every Friday at 9 a.m.
But there used to not be. Like just recently, y'all just got those.
A couple years ago.
Just a
During
couple
COVID.
years ago. Isn't that wild?
That
they
is
had no
insane.
tornado sirens like
That's
just a few
crazy.
years
You
ago.
want to talk about anxiety inducing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. I can imagine because I mean that's
Clear as day, I'm working and I hear it and I get scared. I'm like, ooh, fuck.
No, we had on the east side we had storm shelters.
Did you?
Like my grandma's house, my grandpa built one in the backyard, and everybody would kind of just build one in the backyard.
Oh, I got you.
I guess just
cellar.
individuals would build their own like.
I feel like a lot of places have cellars, but it's whether or not you're willing to go down into the cellar
Yeah.
is the question.
Yeah.
And you get trapped in there.
That was my fear right there.
No, I just told my mom, like, Mom, if something comes close, you're gonna drive this route out of there. You know, you're just
Is
gonna
that
drive
the
through it.
safest thing to do?
I don't want to say like that for everyone, because if you know what you're doing,
Okay.
if you know what you're doing, you know what you're looking for, it can be. Because
So that's what you would do.
oh yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't stay above.
The most safest thing, like if you don't have a storm shelter or if you don't have a house with a basement, the safest thing to do is to get into your most interior room, no windows, no doors, nothing like that, and preferably with like a mattress over you. Something like my grandparents' house didn't have a basement, so anytime something happened up there, we would go to the very interior room and just put a mattress over us,
Just
or
get
in a
crushed by the
bathtub.
house, huh?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, I got so with my job, I'm traveling all over West Texas and like Eastern New Mexico. So what happens if you're driving on a highway and a tornado hits? Like, what's the safest thing? I always heard like try to get in a ditch or something.
Yeah,
or
don't go into an overpass.
don't
Yeah,
get-
that's a myth. yeah, the
No,
overpass
yeah.
is a myth.
so
That's
ditch.
Yeah.
Ditch.
Yeah. And in fact, there's
Just
been
keep going.
Yeah, there's that. I know a lot of like rest stops, like if there's like an actual building, a lot of those are storm shelters around, on the highways and stuff. But yeah, there's been a lot of stories of people surviving in a ditch. But if you go under that overpass, that creates a wind tunnel. So it's going to be even worse for you. You think the tornado's strong, just wait until you get under that wind tunnel and like the pressure it creates.
It'll suck you out of there.
Yeah.
Oh man, because you'll see cars like when we get bad weather, you'll see them parking underneath there, and you're like,
Yeah, or even just to get out of the hail. The best way to get out of the hail is to drive through it. Like,
Yeah. then
Sorry,
Let me
but-
tell
The
you,
damage.
as a storm chaser, there's nothing that infuriates me than when I'm on a highway trying to get in front of a storm, and then I come across an overpass and there's 20 cars just packed under there because they're scared of like quarter size hail. It's like, don't y'all have insurance?
No.
Just go.
What's the biggest size hell you've seen?
I've seen softballs multiple times.
oh, God.
Yeah, I've got some pretty big hail dents on the car right now where like I was going through baseballs. And they dent the car so hard it chips the paint, and now there's like rust spots where it hit.
Nice. Badge of honor.
Yeah, it is. I
Can
like
that kill
to,
you?
lots of
Oh,
badges
yeah.
Hit you
of
in the
honor.
head?
Yeah. If it hurts, if it's like golf balls, it hurts, and if it gets to like tennis balls, it can kill you if it hits you right.
See, I never worry about because I'm inside when this shit's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see me.
Yeah, I
walking
know.
around.
I know this is a dumb question, but maybe y'all got the answer. Where do the animals go, man? Like the cows and all that when they're all out there.
They huddle.
They get
You'll see
together.
cows like huddling together because that's how they protect each other.
Yeah, they'll like put the young in the middle, and then they kind of just surround and
They're
just.
big ass motherfuckers.
But
though.
the
Dude.
tornadoes can pick them up. And
Oh
But,
yeah. No, a lot
Bad
of
day to be a cow, let me tell you.
Is it fucking true? Like the birds, like follow the birds. I've heard people say that.
Birds will get trapped in the eyes of hurricanes. Like
Yeah.
you'll get like
no.
tropical birds from like the Bahamas in Florida because of a hurricane that comes through and like brings them
Yeah, so
in
like
the
if
center
they're
of the eye.
migrating or something and they're get caught in the storm, they'll get in the eye and they're like, oh, it's clear.
Yeah.
But they have nowhere to land, so they have to just stay with it until it hits land. So like when a hurricane lands, you'll get a bunch of birds just pop up in the eye out of nowhere.
What about fish? Do they get in the water? I mean, in the clouds.
I don't think so. Well, a water
See, this
spout.
is what I've heard raining cats and dogs has come from.
Oh
Like
well,
a storm picked up some fucking animals and flung them somewhere else.
like
Man.
fish, yeah, fish.
is that like if a storm hits like the SPCA or something?
I don't know.
He's
This
like,
is
dang.
In the arms of an
'Cause I was gonna
angel.
ask you about the cow thing. I thought that was a myth, but I
They
guess
do
it's
fly.
not.
They do. They can
Yeah.
get picked up, man.
Poor
Launched
animals.
it in.
Yeah.
If a tornado can pick up like a full blown combine, it can pick up cows.
So what about those movies where you see a big old semi getting picked up?
That can
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
Oh, that can happen.
It can if
What,
it's
like-
strong enough. Yeah.
Are you supposed to put your seatbelt on?
It's probably. I think if you get picked up in your car, you're just dead, man.
Yeah.
I think you don't really have a lot of hope because it's not
I'm
necessarily.
so scared right now.
It's not necessarily the impacts, but like it's like all the pieces of debris in it that can like slice through your car and through your windows.
Yeah.
The shrapnel.
I feel like it's the debris that you have the most chance of
Yeah.
being killed from.
Yeah. And then there's even a few cases where like people that were near intense tornadoes died from like fungal infections from the soil. Because like a tornado can rip up topsoil, and it could rip up a foot of topsoil if it's strong enough, and then there could be like bad bacteria in that soil, and if it gets caught in like your eyes and your ears, and
Wow, what a way to die.
Yeah, why you gotta
Yeah.
say that? I'm already scared.
You survive the tornado and then you get sick.
Right.
Oh,
God.
God.
die of like diarrhea or something.
You're gonna be all
It's amazing humans have survived this long.
Yeah,
Because these things have been around forever, huh?
yeah. Can you imagine what it'd been like as like a native out
That's
there
what I
and you
was about
see a
to ask you,
tornado?
If you ever heard anything about that?
No, I can't imagine. Like
Like, did they know? Like,
they knew. I hope they knew not to get near it.
well, they were in teepees. I mean, like that thing was.
Oh man,
Native
yeah.
Americans definitely had like legends and stuff about tornadoes, like the Gerald F5 tornado. There's like images where it kind of looks like a man walking because of the horizontal vortices attached to that, and it was a Native American myth or legend that whenever you saw a tornado like that, it was called the dead man walking because you're probably gonna die. Like,
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was thinking something like you were saying, like maybe they would follow the animals to get to safety or something.
but like the animals don't know either. They just run around
there's a
panicking. Yeah.
So what if we just
Don't
huddle
follow
up?
the
We're
animals.
just gonna huddle up.
Well, my animals are dumb, so they just run away.
Just stand there staring.
God damn, that's so crazy. You ever hear like a story of a baby like surviving, like getting flown and
Yeah,
stuff?
there's-
Yeah.
Right.
Gerald actually.
Gerald.
There was
So
a
Gerald was
little
such-
girl found in a field.
Yeah, she like was it out of a house? I think.
I think she was just in a field, and
Well, they found her
a
in a
trooper found her and was not sure if she was still alive. Was covered in mud from head to toe, can barely even see, what she looks like, and ended up being alive and surviving it. Yeah.
Let's see, I got, what do they call it? Irrational thought or something like where you just think crazy.
Oh, invasive thoughts, intrusive
Well,
thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts.
Crazy thouts.
Intrusive, yeah.
You're
Because I'm over here
insane.
thinking like if I was in Florida, I would be the one person where a hurricane like picks me up and then throws me in a pond with alligators and I get eaten.
I'm sure it's happened.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure it's happened.
I'm
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Oh no.
Now, is there stories of that like afterwards, like the gators come and kind of clean up?
You got to worry about storm surge.
Yeah,
What is
like
that? What is it?
storm surge is basically where like the storm is like it lifts the whole water level around it, so it's almost like a little tsunami that comes in. And
Bring some animals.
yeah, I mean, I've been in storm
Sharks.
surge where it's like 8-9 feet deep, and you're just kind of on an island in this parking lot, and you're just kind of hoping it doesn't get any higher.
See, hell,
But like even in that, like we found like this was in North Carolina, and we found like baby turtles, we found like snakes, all of the stuff like just crawling around on the road because the water was flooding it, and they were wherever they're at, they get carried away too. So
see.
Imagine surviving that and you're going through the water and a snake bites you.
oh
Fucking dead.
man,
You also got to worry about bacteria in the water, especially in Florida. That's
yeah.
like the brain-eating amoeba. Like,
What the fuck?
why-
Why would
that's
anybody
why-
live
Every-
there?
That's why
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
not
know
going to
why.
Florida. I'm not going to Florida.
I don't know why anyone wants to live in Florida anyway.
I
It's
agree
not that
with
great.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, Guy Fieri's restaurants aren't that
People
good.
talk about modern life. Thank God we live in a modern city.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy shit like this.
So like
What the fuck?
we don't really get as much rain as we used to when I was a kid here. Is that like, I don't know, like, is that causing y'all to have to like go further to chase storms?
I mean, yeah, being based here in Amarillo or in the Panhandle in general, like the opportunities are getting less. It seems like even when I started, in 2008, there was way more chases to be had here, and then it seemed like I can kind of pin it down to late 2010. We started in this drought in October, and all of 2011 was like the driest year we've ever had. It seems like, and there were dust storms and wildfires like crazy, and it just seems like ever since then we've never have been back to that level of activity we had.
Yeah.
So, I mean, call it what you will. I'm sure there's some climate change that's truth about it, why we get less rainfall here. We do farm a lot different crops here than we used to. I remember growing up, there'd be corn everywhere. Now you don't see corn. You see cotton and wheat, dry crops, and wind energy is now like a big export. So that's popping up everywhere. So
I miss the rain.
I'm waiting for those climate change comments.
I'm sure
We'll see.
we'll see. But I mean, I think there is like, it has changed since the last 15 years.
Well, yeah, things like happen over time,
Yeah, and I'm sure it could be natural, for all we know, but there's definitely something happening.
But that's what I asked him earlier. I heard the tornado alley was shifting,
Yeah.
moving away. But
I think there's some truth to that.
Yeah,
I think there's also like with the rise of technology, more people are able to like see and report tornadoes.
that might be it too.
And so where we were 50 years ago is different now because there's more people with cell phones that can verify tornadoes a lot easier.
Speaking of that, like imagine being old, like living back then, like in the 50s, in a small ass house, and you have no idea tornadoes is about to fuck
You're
you
just
up.
like out on the prairie and
And you
there's
just-
no one.
Yeah.
You can't even call out at that point because maybe the phone lines don't even connect to your house. Like you are just stuck there with a tornado in your backyard.
That's pretty much what happened to them here, right? In the 70s, with that one that went right
there's a
through the
lot
town.
of stories about what happened there. But
Right. I know it
I mean,
killed a lot of
imagine
people.
like these folks that went west to California on wagon trails. You know,
had no idea.
Yeah.
you just all survived, dysentery and cholera, and then this tornado just out of nowhere plants on your little convoy. That would
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is tornadoes specific to North America, or do they happen anywhere else?
They happen on every single continent except for Antarctica.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure climate change will fix that soon, though.
Yeah.
I thought we were,
Yeah.
I thought we were special.
No, they are most common here though. But statistically, they've happened on every single
Imagine
continent.
Antarctica, fucking
Ex-
frozen tornado.
Yeah. I
Damn.
mean, give it, 100 years, 200 years, when we no longer have that ice cap, and you never know the kind of climate. But I mean, you think about like all the tectonic plates, like it all shifts around every 100,000 years or whatever it is. But
Yeah, like
yeah,
tornadoes are actually being a little more frequent up in like Alaska now.
God,
Like there used to be like in like 50 years there was like one reported tornado, and then in the last 10 years there's been like 3 or 4. But again, more people living there, more technology.
yeah.
But
Is AI helping you predict these things? Is that something coming up?
yeah, so AI's been utilized in some of the modeling, the computer modeling that like the National Weather Service uses to kind of predict based off of where we're at now, where things could be in the future, and but it's all still very experimental. Right now, a lot of the main tools that we use are proven tools that we've had for years that we've relied on, for the last 10, 15 years. So it's something new. I don't know if it'll ever be as good as where we're at. I'm sure maybe over time AI will be able to predict like when and where. And then it's an interesting question I used to ask some of the other chasers is like, if we had a computer that predicted where AI was, would there even be a need for storm chasers anymore? If you knew exactly when and where one will touch down, and then if so, like what happens? Like, are people going to start selling tickets to go see a tornado in the middle of a field outside of Lubbock?
I might be more inclined to go watch it.
Yeah, if you knew exactly when and where.
Yeah, and how it was going to act.
And yeah,
If
exactly.
you knew it wasn't going to come towards you.
Yeah. But then also you're like relying on the technology to be right. So
Well, what do y'all think about that? The cloud seeding or whatever. I think they said it can make it rain or something.
No, they're doing it. Not
Yeah.
aware, but they're doing it.
it seems like they're doing it. I don't really know where either. I think they're trying to do it in like drought stricken areas. And
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what that's going to do?
saying,
I'm
like,
sure
they do it
there's
here.
no consequences of that ever.
Right. Well, it's just like they used to try to stop hurricanes back in like the 60s with silver iodide.
Oh, shit.
So they would take that out there and try to stop a hurricane basically or weaken it. There was one time it backfired. It ended up, they don't really know if it was the silver iodide, but it didn't really help the people of Tampa, Florida when it just came back and hit them anyway. But they do try to alter the weather. It's pretty crazy.
I think that was just one Florida man that he didn't quite get the message, so it had to come back and
Yeah.
I think the United Arab Emirates flooded not too long ago because of seeding.
That cloud
They
seeding.
didn't. They fucked around and it just.
They fucked around and found
Yeah.
out.
they found
But,
out.
we would do the same thing.
I mean,
No.
yeah.
God.
I know there's a ton of conspiracies out there, but at this
Nuke
point
the
it's
hurricane.
like, yeah.
I could just imagine, like you were talking about, though, AI. I could see them using AI to be like, we'll seed here to bring rain and then start bringing all kinds of tornadoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is that
There could be.
danger, I feel.
Weather wars.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
I mean, you say that because there could be some truth to that because like the drought determines how bad a severe season is going to be in the Panhandle. If we're in a bad drought, we're probably not going to get bad storms. So if they go out there and artificially seed and make it rain a lot out here, well, that could mean more tornadoes next year in the springtime.
And that means you get to chase them.
And I get to chase more.
And what do you do when you catch them? That's a cheesy
You rope
joke.
them like at a rodeo.
Yeah, rope them like old Pecos Bill and ride it all the way to Midland.
Yeah.
You get the little Ghostbusters thing and capture it.
Yep.
You could harness a tornado, man,
That would be,
for your Bitcoin. There you go.
that's the ultimate NFT.
There you go. So where's the next biggest storm looking like it's going to happen? Do you know?
I think, what was I saying?
Today's March 5th.
March 5th. So I think Saturday, what is that? A few
Snow.
days. Snow.
Unfortunately, it's not
Back
gonna
up
be.
in Amarillo, yeah.
Snow?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
gosh.
but I don't know if it'll.
I think
get
y'all are
down
just
here.
going to get cold.
Yeah.
I'm sick
It'll
of
still
this
get
shit.
cold. Yeah.
We get nothing but ice. We
Yeah.
get ice here.
This is a tough time of year for people in this area because it's like it'll be 90 degrees and then all of a sudden it's 20 and blowing dust and then snow. Like literally a couple days ago it was blowing dust and then the next morning we were getting heavy snow. Like what is going on here?
Or yesterday blowing dust and then raining mud.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it was nasty.
It is nasty. It's kind of nasty living out here nowadays.
It's a much harsher climate than it is back in Kansas City.
it really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Especially like with the drought, and there's also nothing to break the wind around here. You know, up
Just
there,
me.
there's trees. Yeah. 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 But there's nothing to stop that. So, you know, you get it like so much harsher, especially if you live on the outskirts of town, you know, and you get it really bad.
Hey, I'm a landscaper. I had to clean that shit up. The fucking
Yeah.
tumbleweeds, man.
Oh, man.
Motherfucker. Scratch my car up.
Yeah.
hell no.
Sometimes I'll be out there like photographing a storm and one will come up from behind and just smack me in the butt.
Uh-oh.
It's like, dang, buy me dinner first. So yeah, I was gonna say you also have been introduced to the lovely smell of Hereford.
Yeah, the smell,
smell
of
of
money.
money.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
Nobody likes that.
Nobody likes it.
Well,
No, I grew up on
making money.
on a farm, but all we had were chickens, so we didn't have any cows or
That
anything
smells
like that.
fucking ass.
Dude.
Man.
And then like if it rains and the wind's just right, I mean it's terrible. It's just it can't be healthy to breathe that in
no, man.
your whole life.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
God.
I'm sure counting that money helps.
yeah, right. That's how they keep the smell out. You know, they just
Yeah.
put their money. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how they.
Put a Benjamin.
Yeah, exactly.
So that wind is not something you're used to, huh?
No, it's not. You know, I went to college in Maryville, Missouri, and they're kind of on a hill, but again, there's still just so many trees that it usually breaks the wind. But yeah, I'm really not used to that. And like the fact that it does get extremely hot down here. I mean, we get like a couple 100 days, you know, like a few days out of the year where it gets above 100, but
Only a few?
yeah, there really wasn't that many. But you know, and also again, like the weather just isn't as severe, I would say, in Kansas City. Like around it, definitely, but never really anything like super close. Most of the time, anytime we had storms blow through, it was just a straight line wind situation. So it's a little bit different down here, but I do worry about the drought.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. We got air conditioning.
How fast does the wind have to go to pick somebody up?
For me,
know.
25 miles an hour. I
See,
cannot
this is
stand.
what I'm telling you.
Listen,
When I was a kid, I got blown over by wind, and I think it's stuck with me since. That's why I hate the fucking shit, dude. It fucking.
You're in a bad place if you hate the wind.
I
the
mean,
wind bullied you a little bit.
I don't mind the wind. It's part of it.
I just
but
always wondered, man, like how fast it has to go to pick us
it
up.
depends.
I
If it picks you up, we're fucked.
Oh,
We're fucked. We are. God.
That's why I'm
the
glad I'm
house is
traveling
gone
with
too.
him.
Yeah, I'm helpful because I weigh the car down.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
keep us grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
shit, my
damn.
van, man, driving between here and Amarillo, when it's windy, it's just
Yeah, you know, we just storm chased in my 2006 Chevy Uplander. Let me tell you, keeping that thing on the road in super high winds is, you got to have a really strong arm for that.
Where were y'all at? Y'all just did it? What did you say?
Yeah, we just chased near Quanah, Texas.
that's right.
So
Okay.
that's where we saw a funnel, was just south of Quanah. But out in that area near like El Dorado was where we finally turned around and gave up and came back for the day. But It wasn't anything spectacular.
Now I know we've said all these destructive bad things, but is there something magical about seeing a tornado?
Absolutely.
Just mystical almost.
It is a crazy
low-key wanna see
wonder.
one. I really want
You
to
never
see
seen
it.
it?
No.
It can be really beautiful. Like if it's out in the middle of the field, sometimes there'll be like no wind, the birds are chirping, the sun's setting behind it. Like it could be a really beautiful, tranquil scene. I mean, a lot of times, yeah, it's really chaotic when you get it right on it, but from a distance, it's pretty amazing. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a feeling that it gives me.
Dang,
You
that's
know,
crazy.
like it lights me up to like be out there and I guess everything from like the actual forecasting where like 2 days before I'm looking at the weather models and I'm already planning this day out, like what time are we leaving, what time are the storms firing, and then as the day goes on there's just more decisions to make, and it feels good to see a tornado because then it's like all of those hundreds of decisions I just made that were the right ones. So it's a very fulfilling, like validating hobby, but then for me, it also helps that we're able to bring that to the people that want to know what's going on, especially if their lives or their property are in danger.
What weather app do you use?
So I got a radar on my phone called Radar Scope. It's I think it's a one-time payment for the free version, like for the free subscription, but I like pay for the pro version.
The iPhone app, it'd be lying.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that comes from the Weather Channel most of the time on the iPhone app, but they don't have a radar on there. That's what I never liked about it. So I had to download a different radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't look at the radar. I get scared. I'm telling you. I'm sounding like such a bitch this episode. I see that red and I'm like, oof.
Oh.
I saw it on your page. I was looking at it the other day. I was like, fuck, is that coming over Lubbock?
Oh, yeah.
It was in Childress, I think, or somewhere.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, motherfucker.
Yeah, we're trying to utilize more graphics this year, so there could more red coming to an area near you.
Just put it right over.
Yeah.
Respectfully, fuck you. God. That shit fucking, I hate that shit, dude. I guess you gotta know. You can prepare.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
Yeah.
do you run the page by yourself? Like, is that you?
I actually run it with
Yeah.
Hannah.
Yeah.
now.
Well,
Yeah.
don't do.
Well, she's the main. She's kind of like the main operator on all of it. I'm kind of like the
So-
brains of the forecast.
He does a lot of the forecasting and stuff like that and thinks about, what to post and everything. But a lot of the photography on there now is like in the past 3 months, I would say, more of my stuff.
And y'all got like 150,000 around there?
134.
A lot of
Yeah.
fucking people following.
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean, we have a really good network of people that are really committed to, following us. When we say there's something going on, they listen because we bring them the truth. We don't try to fluff it up, and we really try to, a lot of people just want to know if it's going to be bad or not, and we can tell them like it's not going to be that bad, or if they don't hear from us, it's like not that bad.
And there's a lot of sensationalization, I feel like, that goes on with social media and storms these days. They'll be like, it's about to get so bad right here in this area. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is I feel like they use a lot of clickbaity kind of fear mongering in order to get their audience. But I think it pays to be truthful and honest and be like, well, we may get something, but we may also get absolutely nothing, whereas a lot of them are like, you guys are under the gun for today, and it's all serious and stuff, and you end up getting like maybe like half an inch of mist, if that.
Is there any like rare weather phenomenon you're looking for? Chasing?
I've been getting really accustomed and having a lot of fun chasing the auroras, the northern lights.
You guys almost got him up there in Amarillo, didn't you?
Yeah,
Like
well, we've
200?
had them. We've had them a few
Oh.
times, but like,
Oh shit.
That's
yeah,
not a good sign, by the way.
I mean, I think it's pretty cool.
Well,
It looks
I'm just saying
really
it
cool.
means the pole. Don't get me started on the pole shifting, but
Oh yeah.
So
I mean,
you're chasing those though.
oh yeah, man,
That's awesome.
It's so much fun, and I mean, it's such a different vibe of like there's no chaos. It's so peaceful. It's calm. You're looking for clear skies, but to be out there in the middle of nowhere and you just see like the whole sky above you like light up greens and
It's
oranges
beautiful.
and reds.
Damn.
That's crazy. I didn't know that was up there in Amarillo.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long ago.
Well, we've our first date was actually I took her out to go see the auroras
In Kansas.
in Kansas.
Yeah, he came to visit me in Kansas
Yeah.
City, and we went out in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, and actually got amazing photos of the
Nice.
auroras. I had never seen them like that before in my life, and it was really cool to be able to see them because I mean, you got the full like, you know, each individual like light pillar almost, and they picked up better, I feel like, on the cameras than the naked eye, but you could still see them really well.
Yeah. That and solar eclipses are another fun thing to do.
I'd also like to get volcanic lightning someday. That's my dream.
I was about to ask you about that. Volcanoes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Y'all
that's
would go.
that's
I'm
that's
the big volcano nerd.
she's a big volcano nerd, but I've always kind of been. That's like
Where's the closest one?
Capulan, New Mexico.
Is it active?
No.
It's
Well, I mean,
extinct.
I've seen that one.
There are
I
active
drove through that one.
volcanoes in Arizona, though.
No shit.
Yes.
Yeah, Grand Canyon area,
Yeah, I cannot remember
and then there's
what it's called.
Because we don't
but-
want Yellowstone blowing up.
We're all safe
we'll
from
have a good view.
Yellowstone. Yeah,
Well,
stop.
the world would be fucked.
No.
It's all right as long as I have a good seat to the end of the world.
You
I'm
went
happy.
insane.
I mean,
I've had dreams of like Armageddon, you know, like asteroid hitting, and my priority is to like find the tallest mountain and watch it hit.
What the fuck?
yeah, I would agree.
What am I going to do to stop it?
Yeah, right,
You know?
right.
I
You
can't
might as well enjoy it.
I can't control that drilling machine. That's only Bruce Willis.
So you know when you're doing this, you're saying you plan it out, but you don't fear dying.
No, I don't fear
I didn't
it.
say he was gonna. I was like,
Just in case.
that's
I
why I
don't-
didn't ask it like that.
Yeah, I don't really fear it.
God,
I guess if I die going out that way, that's just the way I was meant to go.
Do you fear
fuck it.
things ripping you apart? No, not God.
Well, that's probably how he would do it. If it
I
did
guess the
happen.
worst way to die would be to like be skinned alive by a tornado. If I had to
Yeah.
guess,
It's pesky tornadoes.
I have been struck by lightning before.
What?
Yeah, outside of Lubbock, actually.
I forgot about lightning. How the fuck did that happen? Like you're just out in the middle.
He was up against a car.
Yeah, I was like leaning against the front of the vehicle, like with my hip on it and my arms crossed, and just watching a storm. And then out of nowhere, like lightning struck the van, and it grounded through my leg that was up against the van.
Oh
Did
shit.
it blow out like your leg?
Well, it felt like someone took a giant sledgehammer and smacked my foot, and also punched me in my chest because it took all the air out of me, and like my heart rate went up to like 200 beats a minute. I swear, just beating out of my chest. And I tried to like run back to the van, and when I turned around, my leg was numb. It wouldn't work anymore. So I was like dragging it into the van. And then
No superhero powers.
I was just
no,
about to ask.
unfortunately
What
not.
powers do you have now?
I
You
think it
can
just
control the storms.
I think it just gave me like one extra notch of tism or something.
There you go.
That's fucking crazy. That's damn another check mark. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
He's got a belt that he puts notches on every time. He almost dies.
Have you seen some pretty gnarly lightning other than that one?
Oh yeah, like lightning is always nuts. Like any storm you go on, the lightning is nuts, and it is a danger. Every storm we go
Didn't even
on,
think about that.
yeah,
In a hurricane too, right? Or no?
it can be. It
Oh,
can be.
shit.
In the eye of a hurricane, there's lightning.
Oh my
Those will be
goodness!
some good
Why
pictures,
does
though.
Mother Earth wants
Yeah.
to kill us?
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. She doesn't want us around, but you know she'll be fine without us.
Yeah,
So.
we're pretty fucked up to her.
Yeah, we kind of we're a bit
I
of
think we kind
abusive.
of made her mad.
I do my part.
Yeah.
I try. She'll still take me out. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm always, just revving the gas.
Yeah.
You mean, your generation fucked us. That's what happened.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, I like watching those lightning videos when they strike close.
Oh,
It
yeah.
always scare the shit out of people.
Shit, I love thunder, bro. The sound of thunder.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, I wish we would get rain just for that.
Yeah. Sometimes
like-
it's
Well, I was just going to say back in Kansas City, way more thunderstorms than here, obviously, because it's a desert. And I know I'm already going to miss it because I just got here in December. So,
Yeah.
You're barely in December?
yeah, that's when I
shit.
moved
Oh,
in
it
It
Amarillo.
doesn't,
To
yeah, you're
Amarillo.
right. It doesn't really rain like it used to.
No,
you know?
she hasn't had the crazy weather either. Though, with
Haboob?
the four
Haboob.
seasons.
Oh,
The 4 seasons
you know
in
how
one day.
dude that word triggers so many people on the page.
Haboob?
Haboob.
Why?
haboob.
I swear, people get so triggered by it because they're like, "It's a dust storm. We've never called it a haboob," and I'm like, "Well, the weather service calls it a haboob." So
They've never been caught in one of them motherfuckers.
yeah, they ain't getting no boob action.
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting, those things.
Yeah, they're pretty terrible, but we get them quite a bit out here.
Have you experienced that? No, there hasn't been one since then. It's only
No,
been
I've
cold.
never really been in a dust storm that I can think of. I have been to Hawaii and I have seen erupting volcanoes out there. So that's my claim right
She's
there.
got to get a one up on us. somehow.
Yeah, I have
You gotta
to
flex on those
somehow.
real quick. I
Yeah.
didn't know there was some in Arizona.
Yeah. There's active volcanoes in Arizona, and I think there's extinct ones here in Texas, but I don't know where exactly.
Were you here? And I don't remember how many years ago it was when we had that boom, but it made everything go black, almost like it was nighttime.
Is that where that famous picture comes from?
I can't remember. Maybe it might be that
I
one.
was here.
I remember I was at AutoZone and like it was day's time, and then all of a sudden it's brown, then it's just pitch black.
I'm telling you, I saw it coming. I went home.
You were just like,
I was this.
Your spidey senses
I was
were
at work.
tingling.
I think
Yeah.
I was at work. I was like, nope.
it was crazy. I was like, oh, you can't see
I
nothing.
don't fuck around, dude.
I'm the guy that's trying to find a good shot of that.
Oh man,
There's some good pictures out
yeah,
there.
that
Oh yeah,
was a nice picture.
Yeah.
I think what other? Yeah, it was just really cold here since you've been here.
Yeah, it's just been
Fucking
cold.
ass cold.
Yeah.
She brought it with her.
I was about to say there has been so much more snow back home this year than there has been in previous years. Like I want to say it's been so bad up there. They've had a lot of blizzards. They actually just went through one yesterday.
Shit.
But yeah,
So you haven't experienced the Texas heat?
no, not yet. I mean, I was down here in like late October and it was still kind of hot even then. But yeah,
You'll be Mexican by the summer.
but you know, I'm always cold, so it's not going to be that much of a problem for me.
Everybody's
You
darker.
say that.
Everybody's a little bit
It's
darker by
fucking-
July.
Fucking 110, and
Yeah.
you're fucking miserable. And you walk outside in the morning and it's hot.
And that's why
Yeah.
I work from home. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I mean, there you go.
You don't even want
But
to
y'all
drive
be easy
anywhere.
though.
Yeah, in that heat, you don't even want to drive anywhere because you don't want to get in your
You don't
car.
want to hear nothing.
Everything you touch in your car just burns you. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But then we complain about the cold.
Well, it's because we don't get an in between anymore. We
No,
don't get the freaking
one or the
spring.
other.
Yeah, there's really like no middle seasons now. I feel like it just goes straight from summer into winter and winter into summer.
Yep.
No, the tsunami. Nothing. You don't have any interest in those.
I mean, I'm
Well,
one
you
of
really
those.
can't even be in that, right? Because
Yeah,
fucking
you
kill you.
Yeah, you kind of need to be like in a parking garage.
Well,
But
I
then,
imagine
like-
your crazy ass would be somewhere watching that shit.
If I could predict one, I would like to document it just to say I have.
What about like a big earthquake? Well, you can't really predict those.
Yeah, no. I mean, again, I would.
It's hard to take pictures of earthquakes. Those are more like video
just
content. I
shake
feel.
your
But it's more about
Yeah.
the feeling.
The feeling,
I want to feel. I've never been in one,
I'm
so
telling
like,
you,
yeah.
I felt that one that was here.
I did, man. They keep
I was
talking
laying on the
about
couch and I could feel like, just a shake.
See, if I was laying on the couch and an earthquake happened, I just got to look at my belly to see if it's like jiggling around.
Oh Jesus!
I've been in a few gnarly ones back in Missouri. They have the San Madrid fault line that made the Mississippi run backwards for 3 days in the 1800s. So Missouri is still a very fault-ridden state up there. But
It's a very faulty state.
Yeah, it's a very faulty state for
We
sure.
just need to get rid of it.
You guys got the
But-
Chiefs.
Yeah. At least we had. Well, they're talking about moving the Chiefs to Kansas. I told him if that happens, I'm throwing away all my gear. I ain't rooting for no Kansas. Are you kidding me? Because they're from Missouri. Period.
Where at?
Well, the Chiefs are in Kansas City, Missouri proper, but they're talking about moving them out towards the Speedway, which is in, I want to say that's like Overland Park, but it might still be Kansas City, Kansas. But there's a very big difference between Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas.
Respect.
I had no idea there was such a big rivalry between Kansas and Missouri till I met her.
Oh, damn.
I got a lot of family
You
in
thought
Kansas.
Oklahoma, Texas was a rivalry. Turns out Missouri, Kansas is a rivalry.
Yeah.
You want to know about a rivalry?
What's that?
Amarillo and Lubbock,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
the real 806.
Uh-huh. Now we got the Buckies now, so we got the
You
crown.
guys won.
Sorry.
Amarillo's the Shelbyville.
Listen, I know y'all got the HEB and the Costco and all that, but we got the Buckies in the end.
We got
so,
Texas Tech.
Yeah. I mean, thank y'all for Mahomes.
You
Appreciate
You
it.
guys did get the Buckies.
But we'll get the
We
Buckies.
got Buddy Holly.
Have you been to Buc-ee's?
Nah, I ain't
You
never-
don't. Well,
haven't
you
been to
wanted to, you wanted to talk about this,
Oh, God, dude.
It's fucking.
But you've never been to Buc-ee's?
Nah, I ain't never been there.
Okay, if you ever go, I want you to really pay attention to just how weird it feels to walk into Buc-ee's and like you get greeted by 8 different people, and there's people chopping beef, telling you that there's fresh brisket on the board every 5 seconds, and it's almost
They all say it together like a cult. Like,
It is kinda
chop
cultish.
brisket on the board.
That's why people love it. It's great.
I feel like they get
Chick-fil-A.
in trouble if they don't say these things, and there's like
Have you seen
can't-
their
They take
pay?
them out back.
Have you seen what they pay them?
a lot.
They pay them managers
They
like
pay
making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Crazy amounts of money.
For real?
Even just like
Like the basic is 18 an hour
They-
for like
they-
the cashier is like
There's
18 an
reason.
hour.
Like these people are great. I love it. It's the same everywhere too, by the way.
It's very universal.
And it's
Cleanest
awesome.
bathrooms.
It's bright as shit.
those
Dude.
bathrooms are like their own
Bathrooms are clean.
airport
You can-
terminal. Let me
no-
tell you.
No.
No disrespect. You can shit in there. It's clean.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
fucking-
Yeah.
Dude, I would eat in one of those bathrooms.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like you saying, notice that, but when you walk in, it's bright as fuck too. You're like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's Buc-ee's.
And
I love it.
have you noticed like there's a lot of people that work all at once? Like you walk into a Buc-ee's and there's like 40 employees in that. And it's like, what are all y'all
Well, it's like
doing?
Walmart.
They
right?
have people that just scrub the glass on like
Yeah.
the cans. Like they have someone that just scrubs the glass of the soda, like, you know,
the other day
refrigerator.
Really?
the other day I was in there. We were in there and I noticed there was like 2 people filling the coffee creamer and I'm like, that's a
Two-person
2-person job.
Being
Y'all
like-
both getting 18 an hour to do this? Like, what do y'all?
Y'all go. You said you go there a lot. Is it ever not busy?
Yeah, in the like weekdays,
During the
it's pretty like
And
in the
if you go
morning.
in the morning, yeah.
But like you go on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's a madhouse every time.
I
part of town is-
almost
It's over by the airport. It's on the west side.
right across the street from the
man.
Big
Yeah.
Tex, right?
Kind of.
Almost.
It's down the highway a bit.
On the east side.
It's like an exit further than
I
the Big Texan.
almost drove there and was one of the first. I wanted to be one of the first customers, so I almost did it, but it was early
You know,
on a Friday.
I didn't
No,
know.
Monday.
I didn't know that, you know, they always say things are bigger in Texas. Like that is ridiculous. Like 180 gas pumps. You're telling me
180 gas
that's
pumps.
crazy.
So
It's
if I'm at the
awesome.
mall,
I don't know what you're talking
where
about.
is it at compared to?
Go on the other side of town.
Oh, so, yeah, I can't go to it.
It's like 10 more minutes. You
I'd
got
have to
Amarillo's
explain
big.
what the hell I'm doing on the other side of
Look,
Amarillo.
it's
Buc-ee's. That's all you have to say.
Buc-ee's. If they don't know what Buc-ee's is, you got to invite them.
You guys
Like,
also,
that's
you know
my
what,
lunch break.
motherfucker. As much as I hate Amarillo, you also got a QT, and I
Two.
love. QT.
I love Quick
We
Trip.
got 2 QTs
There's
now.
Well, whatever.
You cannot go 5 miles down the road back in Kansas City without seeing a Quick Trip. Like they are everywhere up there. So when he
love
said that Amarillo had a Quick Trip, I was like, all right, I'll be there.
They're really valuable right now because like we're both kind of addicted to Celsius energy drinks, and they have one flavor that we can't find anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's only at this one QT, and so they've been taking our money
From
for
the
a
one
while.
downtown.
No, it's the one off of Bell and I-27.
Yeah,
They got the
I-
cherry cola flavored, and that one is like top tier.
So good.
Sounds like-
Like when I go down south, like Dallas or it's QT and Buc-ee's.
Yeah,
Love those two places.
Sounds like a business idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always going over there. Y'all go purchase a bunch of it, put it in the van. I traffic it back over.
Sell it at Colbert's.
Hey, I bet you if you bought a bunch of like beaver nuggets and
My
jerky,
girlfriend
Yeah,
loves
just go
those.
post up by the college. I know there's some
I
college
know,
kids
yeah.
that'll be all over that.
We'll link up.
the little, you know, the little paleta carts, but let's just fill it with Buc-ee's stuff instead, you know?
link up, man. I'm telling
Dude,
you,
you
bro.
could charge like 3 times the amount.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to Amarillo
Well,
like at least
Forgot about the
twice a
jerky
week.
too. The jerky's good.
I heard that you could actually, like, if you were a gas station, you can have Buc-ee's supply you with their beaver nuggets so for you to sell as retail.
Those are
So-
good, by the way.
They're That's crack. It is crack.
So good.
But we can sell it better if we do it out the van.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
sorry, that's what-
Upcharge.
Less sketchy looking, right?
Let's sell it to kids. Sell it to adults.
What's this guy
Got some
selling out of
beaver
his
nuggets in the
service
van.
Got some beaver nuggets.
Come get these nuggets
Chill out.
out of
man.
my
Pause.
service, man.
For me, if it was like a chopped brisket sandwich, they could kidnap me all day
Oh,
long.
yeah.
So-
Yeah,
I like
they
their-
got me with the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit in the morning.
their
Like you put
sliced
one of those
turkey.
under a box, and I'm caught. Unfortunately,
It's over.
Now we're hungry.
Yeah, I didn't eat dinner. I'm sorry.
We ought
I
to.
wish we had a Buc-ee's.
I wish we just could take the show on the road and go straight to Buc-ee's and just do a whole show on the way up there and back.
Put the table in Buc-ee's.
4-hour trip.
I'll tell you what, next time you have me on the show, I'll bring Buc-ee's for y'all.
yeah.
Just bring me a slice of turkey sandwich.
Slice turkey sandwich?
Those are my favorite.
All right.
We'll have you back on next week.
I'm just going to be the weekly runner of Buc-ee's from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I can't believe you haven't been there.
I've never been there.
And you've seen a tornado?
Yeah, well, once when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, where was it at?
So I was living in East Lubbock.
Okay.
And we had one that, like you said, where it started forming and coming down, but it didn't like get down. And so I was supposed to be inside, but I was a little kid, like, I want to see this. And so I seen it forming like that. But it was crazy because, like, I guess it was so far away that it was just quiet.
Oh,
Like, there was no animals. It was just quiet. It smelled real nice. But it was crazy seeing that thing just kind of, and then it just kind of went up.
Damn.
So that was the only one I ever saw, like, in person.
Do they get quiet after that?
Sometimes it's
Real
just
eerie?
dead quiet. Yeah, real eerie. Sometimes it's quiet right before it happens too. That's
Oh, yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
all the animals, I'm assuming.
yeah. All the animals they do get out of the way. They
Do
get
they go
as best
underground?
they can. Do it.
Do they go underground, the ones that can?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
If I was a rabbit, I'd get underground.
What does the ground look like after? Does it even make a mark?
Sometimes if it's strong enough, it'll pull up a foot of topsoil.
Oh, that's right.
Well, yeah,
Because then you
'cause
can
that's how
die
we-
from the
that's
zombie
That's how we die from
disease.
bacteria.
That's our new fear. We're
That's the
going
next
to die.
apocalypse.
I'm glad I can instill a new fear into everybody in the panhandle
You didn't have
now.
to. I was already scared. What the fuck disease would be under our topsoil, though?
I don't know, man.
So many
crazy.
bacteria, fungal,
Here?
infections.
You think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Raider rash.
From the never mind.
Ra-
Yeah,
Raider rash.
I ain't fuck shit. That would suck if you fucking get dirt in your eyes. That's what you get.
That's Raider rash in
You
the
gotta
air.
curse God because that
Man.
would be horrible. Imagine explaining that to your wife.
Shit, I know, bro. I got Raider rash and meth.
Hey, that's what takeaway from this pod is: do meth during a hurricane. You fucking
Yeah, you can,
And
You'll-
you won't
you'll
even
live.
know what happened. Yeah.
you won't know and you'll live.
You'll
Yeah.
live.
you can step on a nail, not even care.
You know,
yeah.
if you
Exactly.
get lucky, you'll find someone that really needs that BJ.
Yeah, you can get you a
He
date.
gets you anything you need.
That's probably the saddest part of that story. He's gonna suck some dick. In a disaster.
He offered it for
With
each
a
of
nail
us.
in his foot. With a nail
Oh,
in his
yeah.
foot, dude. Like
That means you're gonna have to watch as your boys just take turn.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was hoping you would do like the little cheesy comedic thing where he's like, this guy wanted us to take him to the hospital. They offered to give us, blowjobs, whatever. And he goes, so afterwards we took him to the hospital.
It's a bit.
Can you imagine being the first guy done and you got to wait for your homeboys?
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I was thinking about. Like, you're watching your boy get defiled
By the fourth guy, you're like, come on, man.
just
Did you
hurry
see
it up.
your homeboy kiss him? I'm like, what the fuck?
Morgan.
Don't kiss his forehead, dude. Just
Florida man.
Florida man.
I tell you, don't do drugs. Obviously,
Drugs
Yeah,
are bad.
or if you are going to do drugs, do them in Florida. You'll be amongst friends.
you're crazy. First of all, you were.
Thank you.
But that's cool. You don't. I'm assuming. Do you drink? Is this what you? This is your thing.
I don't drink anymore. I used to.
You don't do meth.
Don't do
You
that.
don't do
No.
You're more talking about yourself, where you like, you were the Florida man. Like,
He's
This
deflecting
is like
with
a
that
new-
story.
So anyway, I got this bandage on my foot.
He's got a scar on his foot.
That's how I got this scar.
those guys did take you to the
Ask
hospital.
me how I got this scar.
So you think it's gonna be a good year for you? Or
I mean,
you never know.
we never know. We can predict all we want, but in the end, it's like
Do you think there's gonna be another fire?
I
Maybe.
hope not.
With everything so fucking dry.
I mean, it's really dry, so I don't know. It could happen at any point. I don't think it was really like exceptionally dry when we had that fire. It was just kind of right place, right time.
I tell you what, human life. But when I heard about the animals, the cows that died, and that was so fucking sad.
Yeah,
That was crazy. A lot of them, I think, like
yeah, thousands of cattle
hey,
didn't make it. That was tough.
It's always the animals for me. Like I can't,
Yeah.
hearing about that in the wildfires, like in California and stuff, and all the animals that have had to be rescued from that. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
poor animals.
Smokey the Bear.
yeah,
I really appreciate you guys coming on. This was a good time.
Yeah,
yeah, man, it was great.
Yeah,
Loved
Can't
it.
wait to
great.
clip that myth story. That was fucking Fantastic.
Yeah,
Where can
man.
they follow you guys? What's the page called? On Facebook?
806 Storm Chasers. It's on Facebook.
Instagram,
Don't have an Insta
TikTok,
Yeah.
YouTube.
yet. No, we're kind of boomer when it comes to our.
You guys, it's crazy you have that big of a following just on Facebook.
Yeah, they're a loyal bunch. They've been around for a long time, like 7-8 years.
Now you got a local celebrity.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
You wanna go on a chase or what?
Shit. My wife would kill me.
Oh, yeah, you should. We got another
God,
YouTube.
you gonna send me on that too?
Because we did a podcast last week and with the guy who's like a wilderness dude, and we were like going to send him out to the woods for a week
Yeah.
for a YouTube series. Now we got you doing storm chasing.
Yeah,
Nice.
Man.
So
you know,
that one's more
there's a
plausible.
lot of stuff I haven't done in my life, so he's trying to send me. So I guess I
yeah.
gotta go do
That's
that.
how
too.
I feel. I feel like I haven't done a whole lot, and so
Bro, how sick would it be to see a tornado?
No, I'll do it as long as my wife don't kill me.
Just don't.
ask for forgiveness, not for permission.
There you go. That's the secret.
Yes.
Look, honey, you can't be mad. It's an assignment for the
long.
boys.
All right.
If he did it, how many hours
As
away
long
do
as
you
we
think
go to Florida.
Well, that's a trip right there, brother. You want that meth, man? You nasty
Oh,
motherfucker.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, we got it for real.
I'll do it, man.
Yeah, we could drop you off at that bridge. I'm sure he'll come by eventually.
It's content. He's gonna find out it was me.
And
So I went to Florida one time.
actually, without the
Nah.
beard, I kind of see it now.
You and Morgan, storm chasers.
Oh no, bro. God. All right.
I think y'all should.
We have another.
Yeah.
We have another comedian named Morgan.
Oh,
and,
yeah?
he's a great guy. He just has what's
like-
that problem?
He's a homosexual. Oh, sorry. Sorry. No, he's cool.
It's
He's
an
funny.
incurable disease.
Is it terminal?
He's like the meth man. No, he's a great dude.
He's here.
But I think if you did it with him, he legit would be screaming.
Well, one of us is gonna die, just like the other time. Like you said, we're in the wild.
He
One
lost
of
all
them-
that weight, so you're gonna fly away.
I don't know, man.
We can keep y'all bungeed together.
Package deal.
Accountability.
We'll put the GoPro on you. We'll make money off
know
you,
what?
brother.
Hey, it's content. We got it. We'll do it.
Yeah, no, for real, y'all should though. But thank you again, guys. Iz, you got anything for the people?
Don't do meth in Florida.
That's the message for today. Don't do drugs and listen to your weather alerts on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the iPhone one, but the one y'all do.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, guys. We'll see y'all next
right.
time.
Yeah.
Subscribe to
y'all.
the Patreon, patreon.com/SnakePitStudios. We'll see y'all.